10 Reasons Not to Move to New Zealand. Hello, viewers. From our previous videos about New Zealand, we have established several reasons why it may be the right country for you. However, New Zealand has its downsides, and what is good for the goose may not be good for the gander. It is for this reason that we have decided to create this video so you can draw your conclusions on whether this island nation is worth migrating to. In this video, we have compiled 10 reasons not to move to New Zealand. After watching, it is your decision whether to make New Zealand your new home. Without delay, let's get started with the first point on our list. 10. Driving culture. A blend of safety regulations characterizes New Zealand's driving culture, and motorists are required to comply with stringent rules, including driving on the left side of the road. This can be inundating and provides a good reason for some people not to move to New Zealand. Additionally, the country's narrow landscape features, winding roads, and coastal routes may pose challenges for those unfamiliar with the terrain. To exacerbate issues, New Zealand experiences a range of weather conditions, including heavy rainfall, snow, and ice, which can impact road safety. Nevertheless, visitors are permitted to drive in New Zealand for a maximum of 12 months, provided they possess a valid driver's license from their home country or an international driving permit, IDP. It is crucial to have the license or permit accessible at all times while driving, ensuring it remains valid and, if necessary, in English. 9. Not many large cities. New Zealand has a limited number of large cities, which is attributable to various factors. A significant reason is the absence of appropriate sites for deep-water ports along the western coast of both islands, which has historically hindered the growth of substantial urban centers in those regions. Furthermore, the country's geography, characterized by its mountainous terrain and scattered population, has played a role in the emergence of fewer large cities when compared to more densely populated areas. As a result, New Zealand's urban environments are generally smaller and more widely distributed, mirroring its distinctive landscape and patterns of settlement. 8. Lack of insulation in houses. New Zealand residences often lack inadequate insulation, resulting in cold and damp environments within the homes. This concern is especially rampant in houses constructed prior to the year 2000, many of which lack sufficient ceiling insulation and do not have underfloor insulation. The building code was revised in 2008 to necessitate insulation and double glazing. However, the insulation levels remain subpar, with several homes still featuring single-glazed windows, which exacerbate cold and damp conditions. Inadequate insulation can result in health complications, as many homes in New Zealand maintain indoor temperatures up to 6 degrees lower than the World Health Organization's recommended minimum of 18 degrees Celsius. If you need a good reason not to move to New Zealand, there you have it. 7. Boring. Specific individuals, particularly those who perceive the nation as quiet and devoid of the lively nightlife or bustling urban atmosphere to which they are accustomed, have characterized New Zealand as unexciting. For instance, a visitor once expressed that during a stroll, the city felt quiet and nearly deserted, contributing to a sense of boredom. This viewpoint is further reflected in an article that labels New Zealand as the most boring country in the world. Nevertheless, others have argued that the notion of New Zealand being boring and dull is a matter of personal perspective and can differ based on individual tastes and experiences. At the end of the day, it boils down to personal preference, which has given some people a reason not to relocate to New Zealand. 6. Youth suicide. Youth suicide is particularly alarming, and this is why it ranks number 6 among 10 reasons not to move to New Zealand. Between 2023/2024, there were 617 suspected self-inflicted deaths in Aotearoa, New Zealand. The factors contributing to the rise in suicide rates are complex and varied. Issues such as mental health disorders, domestic violence, child abuse, and child poverty have been recognized as significant contributors. Furthermore, the effects of colonization and challenges related to cultural identity have been emphasized as critical factors affecting Maori and Pacific Islander communities. In response to these challenges, initiatives have been launched to tackle the issue. One such initiative, Zero Suicide Aotearoa, seeks to adopt a comprehensive approach to suicide prevention, aiming for a future with no suicides. 5. Limited shopping options. Though the country has a variety of shops and diverse options of shopping opportunities throughout its various cities and towns, it is nothing compared to what is available in other big cities in London and Spain. Regardless, For those seeking a more intimate and boutique shopping experience, it is advisable to explore smaller towns or designated areas within larger urban centers that focus on distinctive local designs and crafts. For instance, Parnell in Auckland is renowned for its upscale boutiques, featuring unique creations from local designers and artists. Likewise, the Old Bank Building on Lambton Quay in Wellington houses avant-garde design stores and unconventional retail offerings, providing a more specialized shopping atmosphere. These locations offer a more curated and less chaotic shopping experience in contrast to larger shopping malls or busy city centers. 4. Visa requirements. There are several reasons not to move to New Zealand, and the difficulty of obtaining a visa is one of them. New Zealand's visa requirements present considerable challenges for travelers from developing or third-world nations compared to applicants from developed countries. The difficulty often lies in convincing immigration officers that the traveler is a genuine visitor who will return home after their visit. For those seeking long-term residency, New Zealand employs a points-based system that prioritizes skilled migrants and investors, accompanied by substantial financial requirements. Additionally, the processing times for residency applications can be long, typically spanning from 6 to 24 months, making the whole process tiring and discouraging. 3. Gas is expensive. Petrol. Prices of gas in New Zealand have been experiencing an upward trend due to various factors. A primary influence is the global oil market, where limitations in supply coupled with rising demand have resulted in increased prices. Furthermore, the depreciation of the New Zealand dollar against the US dollar has rendered imported fuel more costly. The Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment, MBIE, has indicated that higher margins for importers are a factor in the escalating fuel prices. Additionally, the expenses associated with operating service stations, which encompass storage, transportation, and labor, also play a role in determining the final price consumers see at the pump. The Commerce Commission has been actively engaged in regulating the fuel market to safeguard consumers from unreasonable price increases. However, paying high for gas can be discouraging and presents a personal reason not to move to New Zealand. 2. The tall poppy syndrome. This is a cultural phenomenon particularly associated with New Zealand and Australia, characterized by the harsh criticism of overly ambitious people. While delving deeper into the experiences of individuals affected by tall poppy syndrome, researchers Kirkwood and McNaughton came up with some findings which indicate that disparaging remarks regarding success predominantly originate from colleagues during in-person interactions, with negative comments from anonymous individuals on social media ranking as a less significant concern. McNaughton emphasizes that, despite the troubling nature of these findings, there is potential for addressing tall poppy syndrome. He states, "We can initiate a shift in the dialogue by engaging with those nearest to us. It is essential to redefine success in a manner that encourages sharing and support rather than fostering resentment or envy." As the tall poppy syndrome continues to gain momentum, some people have a good reason not to relocate to New Zealand so as not to be caught up in this syndrome. 1. Low wages. New Zealand is often described as a low-wage economy, with average earnings falling short in comparison to other developed nations such as Australia and the United States. The low-wage economy in New Zealand is also associated with specific demographics, including women, part-time workers, individuals aged between 20 to 29 or over 65, those with lower educational qualifications, and non-European residents. The government established the minimum wage, which is subject to annual reviews, with the latest rates taking effect on April 1st, 2024. However, several factors contribute to the low salary prevalent in New Zealand. These include a smaller population and market size, a scarcity of large frontier firms, and a dependence on small to medium enterprises, SMEs. If you have to work hard only to receive little, then this is the most important reason you need not to move to New Zealand. We have reached the end of this video, and we look forward to your comments in the discussion box. Please join the conversation and keep it going. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.